Welcome to Spurs Focus, your go-to spot for daily Tottenham news, transfers, and match updates. Don't forget to support the channel by hitting that subscribe button now. Let's dive into today's top story. James Maddison knew it was coming. After weeks of assists and electric performances, Mohamed Kudus finally scored his first Tottenham goal, and Maddison's message said it all. "Told you it was coming, my brother." Thomas Frank also couldn't resist a cheeky jab, but Spurs fans are loving every bit of it. James Maddison knew Mohamed Kudus would score his first Tottenham goal sooner rather than later. The Ghanaian forward finally opened his account for his new side over the weekend with a deflected effort against Leeds. Despite having chalked up a host of assists, it took until his 10th appearance for Kudus to score his first goal. But teammate Maddison never lost faith and sent Kudus a touching message on social media. Writing on his Instagram story, Maddison said, "Told you it was coming, my brother," alongside a fire emoji. While Maddison was sure that Kudus would find the net, Kudus has suggested that the goals might now start to flow. He said, "It feels really good, something I've been working on for the past month, to score my first Tottenham goal, and it will open doors for more to come." Sometimes it's not about winning the first ball, it's the reaction for the second ball, and when I went inside, I just thought, shoot in the corner. And I'm so glad it went in. Speaking about Spurs' win versus Leeds, Kudus added, "The game was less about tactics, it was about great determination, and who wants it more because they were running and fighting for the ball. We knew that we had to match their intensity. That's what the game was about, and I think every one of us was on top to get the win. I love it. However the opponents want to play, we will definitely match up to that." Away from Maddison, Thomas Frank also gave his verdict. He was full of praise for his new look frontline, but couldn't resist the temptation of a cheeky jibe at Kudus' expense. "I think it looked promising today at times. I liked Xavi Simons as a 10. I think that was his best game for us. There's still more to come, but I think he had some really good actions in there," he said. Mo, again getting his goal, which I'm pleased with. It was about time he scored that goal. But no, I'm so pleased for him. So you just see he looked a little bit more fluid. Kudus will now fly off for international duty with Ghana over the coming fortnight. The African side will take on the Central African Republic and Comoros as they attempt to seal a place at next summer's World Cup. Mohamed Kudus is on fire at Tottenham. After a stunning display and his first goal for Spurs, the Ghanaian star accidentally name-dropped the wrong coach in his post-match interview, but fans didn't care. With 5 assists, 30 take-ons, and now a goal, Kudus is already proving to be unplayable in North London. Mohamed Kudus might need to brush up on the names of the Tottenham coaches after name-checking one with the wrong name after his star performance at Leeds United. The Spurs summer signing put in a man-of-the-match performance in the 2-1 victory at Elland Road. He caused constant problems with his dribbling and strength on the ball down the right and set up Mathys Tel for his first goal of the season with a perfect pass midway through the first half. The Kudus netted the winner in the second period as he reacted to Pedro Porro's pass down the line, hitting the back of a defender and bouncing into his path. The Ghanaian ran inside and buried a low shot into the bottom right corner of the net after the smallest of deflections, which only served to slow the effort down slightly, and it was his first goal for the North London club. After the game, while talking through the goal for Tottenham's social media channels, the 25-year-old said, "So Pedro got the ball, and I went deep and then he played the ball in behind, but sometimes it's not always getting the first ball. It was reacting to the second touch from the opponent, and then when I went inside, I went with a shot into the corner. It's been something I've been practicing all week with Austin, you know. And I'm glad that it went in. I'm happy for my first goal, and I hope it opens doors for more goals to come ahead. Happy with the 3 points. Although it was a considerate move to name-check the coaching staff, rather than Austin, we reckon Kudus means Justin, as in Justin Cochran, one of Thomas Frank's trusted assistant coaches who came with him from Brentford and works with the attacking players. Cochran is also part of Thomas Tuchel's England coaching setup and came through as an academy coach at Spurs, along with another current assistant coach, Matt Wells. It has been a great start to life at Tottenham for Kudus since his £55 million move from West Ham with 5 assists, and now that first goal for the club. According to Squawka, the Ghana international is the only player to complete 30 take-ons in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, and he has completed at least 11 more take-ons than any other Premier League player. No player in the English top flight has won more duels, 57, or provided more assists than Kudus this term. After the win on Saturday, though, the summer signing wanted to make sure the spotlight was firmly on Tel. I want to give big praise to Mathys because I think it's been a tough month, not playing, but how he carries himself, trains. He's a top professional, and I think you can see today when he got his chance, he was there. So it shows how professional he is, he said. As a player, definitely, it's going to be very difficult, but how he composes himself, manages himself, training, he's so young. And with this mentality, it's really going to help him go far. And I hope that this first goal he has scored is going to open more doors for even better games and more goals coming ahead. I'm really proud of him today. The curse was finally broken on October 4th, 2025. For the first time in a long while, Tottenham Hotspur fans could feel happy during an international break, for Spurs had somehow contrived to lose their previous 7 consecutive matches before international breaks. Even Thomas Frank admitted he had told his players to win just so he didn't have to answer questions about the bizarre streak. Now that streak is as dead as Randall Kolo Muani's leg once was. Spurs battled in the wind and rain at Elland Road. In the kind of lunchtime kickoff you could imagine the North London side spluttering and losing him before. It's worth noting that Leeds had not lost at home in the league for more than a year, albeit much of that time was spent in the Championship, but it's testament to the defensive solidity of Daniel Farke's side, especially in front of their noisy fans. This was a game of firsts and almost firsts. Former Spurs man Joe Rodon almost scored his first goal against his old side in the opening exchanges when he sent a header from a deep free kick against the right-hand post with Guglielmo Vicario caught in no man's land. Then Spurs opened the scoring on 23 minutes when Rodrigo Bentancur, fresh from signing his new contract, won a ball in the midfield, moved it to Mohamed Kudus, and the Ghanaian played it into the path of Mathys Tel. The Frenchman hit an early shot that deflected past Karl Darlow for his first goal of the season. Kudus wasted a good chance to double Spurs' tally with an unmarked effort over the bar before Leeds punished his profligacy on 34 minutes. Vicario pushed aside Brendan Aronson's deflected shot through a crowd of bodies only for Noah Okafor to react faster than Udogie to bury the loose ball. Tel sent a looping header against the crossbar from Wilson Odebert's cross in added time at the end of the first half. Spurs retook the lead just before the hour mark though, when Kudus ran onto a loose ball, cut inside and hit a low shot that deflected into the bottom corner for his first goal for the club. Both sides had chances in the second half, and it needed Vicario to make a big save from Joel Pirro in the final stages to ensure the hosts left with all 3 points. For Spurs to hold on meant that they remain the only team to have not conceded a goal in the final 15 minutes of a Premier League game this season. All those hours doing blocking sessions in training has paid off so far, and Tottenham ended Saturday in 3rd place in the Premier League table, 2 points off the top, with the joint second best goal difference in the competition. They have lost just a single game so far if we're not counting the UEFA Super Cup penalty shootout. Extremely happy with the win. I think if you want to build any successful team, you need mentality and character and cohesion and togetherness, said Frank. No matter if you play like Inter or Barcelona or whatever style of play, you need that willingness to do everything to win. I think we are building that more and more in the team, let's say in the last 10 to 15, where they pushed us back and we also dropped a little back. I actually think that until the 80 minute, I'm very happy with those 80 minutes, give or take. We looked very solid defensively. I think we gave the goal away, which is like a cross, deflected shot. And then, of course, I know they hit the post, but I think it looks more dangerous than it is. That's what we gave away until the 80 minute. But I think we created 2 goals and other very good, dangerous situations and chances. So, very happy with that. We need a little bit of surviving and a couple of good saves from Vicario. For one man in particular, it was a day that he has been waiting and training for. While Tottenham travelled to Norway this week to toil in Bodo, Mathys Tel did some toiling of his own as he remained back at Hotspur Way. The Frenchman channeled his frustration at being left out of the Champions League into working with the coaches at the Enfield training ground to improve himself. People forget Tel's age. He only turned 20 earlier this year and will join up with the France U21s next week if the numerous knocks he took at Elland Road don't rule him out. He is still learning his trade, and this was his most encouraging performance yet as a striker. Tel ran, he pressed, he harried, he links up play, and he scored a goal with a classic striker's run and early finish. He was unfortunate to see his looping header hit the crossbar, and he played a great ball into the run of Xavi Simons, who should have done far better with it. Thomas Frank admitted to Football.London after the game that seeing Tel score had stirred something inside of him. So almost emotional about him. So happy for him. I think the character he's shown for a young man just really impressed me from day one, said Frank. Of course, after a setback, not being in the Champions League squad, not being an established player, maybe playing a good position where I really can see him playing, and I think he's taking steps. Also been picked a little bit for the left. Just keep training well, which he does. He trains well every day. Frank also had praise for two of his coaching staff for their work with Tel over recent weeks. Mathys stayed at home when we went to Bodo with the team. He trained well, just getting ready for today. Big praise to Cameron Campbell and Justin Cochran for their work with him. The way we worked with him from a fine game against West Ham as a striker to a better game against Doncaster, where he arrived more in the right areas because we trained and showed him clips, to the next level today, where I think he worked hard and scored a good goal. He had other good situations. So very pleased. This was potentially Tel's last chance. For a while to impress as a striker if he had faltered. Dominic Solanke will be hoping to be back not long after the international break, while Randall Kolo Muani is working on his fitness after his interrupted start to life at the club. Throw Richarlison into the mix, and Tel is going to have his work cut out. Frank greenlit his move to Spurs though soon after arriving at the club, because he felt there was something there to nurture and develop. The young attacker was one of Europe's top young talents when Bayern signed him as a teenager. This was his best Spurs performance so far, and his to also play on the left means he will be given chances in the months ahead despite his European exclusion. There will also be injuries. This is Tottenham, after all. After the final whistle as the players went over to the travelling fans to applaud them, Frank grabbed Tel by the hood of his jacket and hauled him in front of the Spurs, faithful to ensure he got his moment in front of them. Tel's fellow goalscorer Kudus also wanted to make sure the spotlight was on the young Frenchman. I want to give big praise to Mathys because I think it's been a tough month, not playing, but how he carries himself, trains. He's a top professional, and I think you can see today when he got his chance, he was there. So it shows how professional he is, he said. As a player, definitely, it's going to be very difficult. But how he composes himself, manages himself, training, he's so young. And with this mentality, it's really going to help him go far. And I hope that this first goal he has scored is going to open more doors for even better games and more goals coming ahead. I'm really proud of him today. Tel made his case on Saturday and dispelled some of the doubts from the supporters. Tel was part of an attack that is finally starting to no longer look like a group of strangers thrust together on a football pitch. Frank has constantly stated that the attacking side of his team was going to take a little while longer to gel because of the new key playmaking components of Kudus and Xavi Simons. That's why his choice of front four on Saturday might have surprised some. But there was a logic beneath it in the friendships. Xavi and Wilson Odobert know each other from their PSG academy days. Tel and Odobert have known each other for years through the France U21s, and Mohamed Kudus has had most of pre-season to get to know everyone. On Saturday, they all brought positives to the team, even if only Tel and Kudus had something to show for it. Odobert delivered one of his best performances in a Spurs shirt, with less of the weakness on the ball that has knocked down his previous displays. If anything, he showed some moments of strength under pressure. With that foundation, he was able to create and get into good positions. The 20-year-old played a great ball to release Destiny Udogie for a first-half break that Kudus should have scored from. He then supplied the cross for Tel that his compatriot headed against the woodwork. In the second half, he played another terrific ball into Xavi's path, and on top of that, he tracked back on a number of occasions to help Udogie, that Frank applauding him. Xavi was unleashed in the number 10 role everyone wants to see him in, and while this was a performance with mostly more bark than bite, it did show the threat he can bring when he twists and spins through the centre. There were a few moments when the pace of the Premier League caught him by surprise, and he took a touch too long on the ball. That's exactly what Lucas Bergvall was like in his early games in England, and also in training sessions at Hotspur Way, taking too long to release the ball and getting himself tackled. The teenage Swede learned quickly, and so will Xavi. When he was sent away by Tel early in the second half, he had a great opportunity to send the ball to either of the two teammates alongside him, but instead the Dutchman tried something fancy and fluffed the pass straight back to Leeds.